Hi, this is Melissa Manchester, and you lucky people, are listening to TV Confidential.
Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words.
Ed Robertson welcoming you back to TV Confidential, radio talk show about television that, for this part of the program at least, is a radio talk show about Roberta Flack. Roberta Flack, the Grammy Award-winning singer, arranger, composer, and pianist known around the world for such genre-bending ballads as Feel Like Making Love, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, and Killing Me Softly with his song. We've said many times on this program that music and television have always had a symbiotic relationship, while for you and me and anyone else listening to this show who came of age during the 70s and 80s, the songs of Roberta Flack are an integral part of the soundtrack of our lives. Roberta Flack passed away Monday, February 24th at the age of 88. If you have listened to TV Confidential over the years, you probably know that we have been fortunate enough to talk to Charles Fox a few times on this program. Charles Fox, the man who not only co-wrote Killing Me Softly with his song along with Norman Gimbel, but who won the Grammy Award for Best Song in 1973 for the recording of Killing Me Softly with his song performed by Roberta Flack. With that in mind, we're going to take it back to November 2010, the first time we spoke to Charles Fox on TV Confidential, and play a clip from that conversation in which Charles told us the story of how Roberta Flack first discovered Killing Me Softly. Charles, obviously, Roberta Flack, for many of us, is the artist who made Killing Me Softly famous, but as you mentioned in the book, she was not the first person to record it.
She wasn't. Norman Gimbel and I wrote the song for a young artist at that time named Laurie Lieber, who was also a wonderful singer, and we were writing and producing her first album. We eventually did 4 albums with her for Capitol. But in her first album, one of the things that Capitol was able to do, and Killing Me Softly was a single, and it did get some notice, but Laurie was a new artist, and it was hard to get all the promotion we needed, and she built her own following as a result of it. But in a larger sense, what Capitol did for us that worked, fortunately, very well was they got the record programmed on American Airlines, that Theater in the Sky program. These days we go into airplanes, we bring our own machines, MP3 players and DVDs and what have you, iPads. Those days in the 70s, if you were going someplace on a plane and you wanted to hear music, you were going to listen to what they had pre-programmed. And so fortunately for us, 1 month they programmed Laurie's record. And very fortunately for us, Roberta Flack was flying on American Airlines 1 month, and she heard that song, and she, as she has said, she was so taken by it that she took out a pencil, a piece of paper, started copying the notes and the words, and when she got to New York, she called Quincy Jones, who she had just left. She had just done a concert with Quincy Jones, and she said, "Quincy, how do I meet Charles Fox?" And Quincy gave her my number. And the next thing is I had a call from Roberta Flack, which is quite astonishing because she had just won the Grammy Award for First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. And so to get a call from her saying, "Hi, it's Roberta Flack. We haven't met, but I'm going to sing songs," I had to take the phone off my ear for a second and look at it. Was I hearing right? And then many years later, she was the one who presented me with the award for my induction to the Songwriter Hall of Fame. And this was 2004. And she came to sing the song and to present the award to me. So after she rehearsed in the afternoon, we were sitting just chatting, she and I, in a kind of an empty ballroom at the Marriott Hotel in New York. And I said, how lucky for me that she took that plane that day and she found the song. She said, Roberta's a very great artist and a very lovely spiritual person. She said, "No, the song found me." Well, in either case, I was happy she didn't fly and get out of there.
That's right. Well, let me ask you this, Charles. And I think I know the answer to this question, but let me ask it anyway. So many people, so many artists, male and female, have sung "Killing Me Softly." Do you have a favorite version?
Well, I mean, really, I have to say Roberta Flack is my favorite version because it was the one that set the standard.
Yeah.
First of all, so beautiful. Her arrangement was so beautiful that it's been copied. I mean, I can't say how many recordings we've had, but I lost track, over 1,000. by 1,000 different artists around the world in every language practically, at least the ones I know. But 90% of them still copy her version of it, with a strong backbeat in the middle as it came in the bass drum, and her tempo and her rhythm and all that. Now, the curious thing is, the Fugees' record was also enormous. It was also number one record in the world in every country, as Roberta was. And someone asked me this the other day: how did Lauryn Hill know about the song? And I know Roberta said that Lauryn told her, Roberta, that her mother used to sing that song to her. That's how she knew it.
Wow.
So it's just interesting how one thing perpetuates another.
You know, maybe it's because Roberta Flack left such a lasting impression when she first did that song. I mean, to me, the word haunting, even as you described her version just right now, the word haunting pops.
She did make a very haunting version. The other part of the story that I just kind of glossed over for a second, because Fugees had such an enormous hit with the record. Roberta now in her concerts live, she has changed the whole ending of it, and as she always says in her concerts, that since the Fugees have kicked the song into the 21st century, she felt it necessary to make her own new version of it. So when it comes to the ending of it, she does a kind of a little interplay between the chorus and between the audience, and she sings something, the audience sings back there, and it's quite haunting.
Well, it kind of speaks to what so many great artists such as Roberta Flack do when they sing. I mean, you know, she's been singing that song for close to 40 years, yet every time she performs it, it seems as if she's performing it for the very first time.
She does, every single time. But, you know, I have to say that a lot of singers, not to take anything away from her, I think she's a fantastic singer, great artist. But I have to tell you, every time I hear Barry Manilow sing Ready to Take a Chance Again, he sings it as though it's the first time out. He has those great energy, and it's just fantastic. And I could say that about other singers, too. You know, there's the great artists bring something to the table every time they perform. They just don't rest on their laurels. People are sitting in the seats because of the laurels, but they bring that to the stage. We went to see Barry Manilow perform in Vegas a couple of years ago when he wasn't even doing my song in the act. But we invited him up to see the show, and we did. But because he knew we were coming up, he put Ready to Take a Chance Again in the act. Really, basically, because I was there, which was such a fantastic thing. You know, such a great thing for me, too.
Well, we could add you to the list, Charles, of people who don't sit on your on your laurels, because I mean, one of the really great things about reading your story is that you've never forgotten who you are, and you've enjoyed so much success, and you've worked with so many great people. And we'll talk about some of those people, folks, as we continue our conversation. But you have, I mean, you never take anything for granted. As long as you've been working in this industry, you never take anything for granted.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that. It's just part of my makeup. I'm entirely grateful for everything that's happened that has worked that well, and very appreciative of all that, because I've also seen the other side of them. We could spend an hour talking about all the things that didn't work well.
Charles Fox, Emmy Award-winning, Grammy Award-winning, and Oscar-nominated composer, and the man who co-wrote, along with Norman Gimbel, Killing Me Softly, with his song, one of the most performed songs ever in music history, and a song synonymous with Roberta Flack. Roberta Flack passed away Monday, February 24th at the age of 88. This portion of TV Confidential is brought to you by Salt River Therapy, a compassionate, confidential boutique therapy practice that offers quality therapies for individuals and couples, both in person in Brooklyn, New York, and virtually throughout New York State and New Jersey. Their specialties include anxiety, grief, low self-esteem, identity issues, and relationship challenges, while the mission of Salt River Therapy is to help you find your inner capacity for vulnerability, healing, and growth so that you can really understand yourself and your experiences, prioritize caring for yourself, and finally tackle the things that have been bothering you. The people at Salt River Therapy value being therapists who actually get you. They love connecting with clients who may be worried about being misunderstood or judged. or who might be afraid of change, or who aren't quite sure what's not working in their lives but are hoping to find clarity, build resilience, and figure out their way forward. Salt River Therapy accepts most New York Aetna plans and have sliding scale rates available. To learn more about what they do or to schedule a free phone consultation, visit saltrivertherapy.com, saltrivertherapy.com.